Joining us is Meghna Saraogi, the founder and CEO of mirrAR, an omni-channel solution that uses augmented reality to let businesses provide their customers with a chance to virtually try on jewelry, watches, sunglasses, makeup, and a whole lot more. Today, mirrAR, of course, partners with Tanishq, with Hazoori Lal and Sons, with Forevermark. So, with businesses who are still traditional in their thinking, what would be your advice for founders looking to convince them to try out something different and new?
So I'll tell you, it's very difficult to change mindsets. And I'm going to be very honest. We have tried left, right, center. We have burnt our hands doing things which didn't work. And at one point, we had around 250 jewelers just in India who were using mirrAR, right? And what we've realized is that people who are used to working in a certain way changes only with mindsets. So there are people who will see other brands, like when Tanishq started using us, a lot of people saw Tanishq and it was an aspiration, right? Even they might not have the right mindset, they might not have the budget also, but the aspiration was there that, okay, I want to have something like this, or I want to be innovative, or I think sometimes it also becomes about their positioning where they want to come across as a tech friendly enabled company or a brand, right? But because of the mindset blockage or shifts, I would say, they're not able to adapt to it. So even if you take a technology or buy it, but if you don't have the right resources, right people, right mindset to use it, you will be just wasting it. And that's what happened with us. So to anyone who's looking to change mindset, my advice would be the time will come, but it's going to be a long journey, right? We've taken like years to be where we are today. And at one point, brands who would say we would never use this are now our customers. But it takes a lot of time to change mindset, to educate them, to also make them understand what their competition who's using it is benefiting and things like that. So it's a journey of patience and persistence. Please don't rush is going to be my advice.
That's very valuable advice indeed. So it's a long process to get to where you are. You got to keep at it and be patient. And say once you acquire a customer, more importantly, to retain the customer, how would you go about it, especially if you are creating a new segment?
So I think one of the most important things is to keep the customer engaged. So we ensure that I personally do a quarterly call with the CXOs to understand, what are their thoughts, how are they trying to, integrate more and more technology into their businesses, where can we help and things like that. The second is to have a very strong operations team that ensures that if there is a problem that arises now, it needs to be at least addressed now. So to give you an example, we started working with one of the largest jewelry brands in US, and for the first 1-2 weeks after the launch, I realized that and we were in a pilot phase, okay, and they were doing A/B testing with 2 other companies who were in US. So we were in India and we were the only ones who didn't have that leverage of same time. So first 2 weeks I realized that we get emails with issues, bugs, etc. at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And by the time we reply, it's 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning, because that's when we wake up and see the email and then the team responds, right? And we collectively decided that this will not work. We lose them. And what we did was we got a team member to work in the US time zone. And then if an email would come at 2 a.m., by 2:05 it would be replied, and by probably 3 a.m. it would be resolved. And that's the reason we actually got the final deal. So I think, having that empathy, ensuring that, the team who is your POC or working along with you, have that comfort zone with you, where they are able to come across very honestly and say, hey, this is working, this is not working, and also demand iterations or seek help. Because if you don't work as a team with the other company, there is a high chance that you'll be replaced by someone else tomorrow. So I think we ensured that apart from the fact that we'll make sure that our product is the best, having that communication, constant interactions with teams at the CXO level, along with the team who is on ground and like doing it, literally worked really amazingly for us. So even today, that's the way we work, where we ensure that there is like a weekly check-in call, and then there is a monthly call and a quarterly call at different levels to ensure that the engagement, our relation, everything is like going happily with everyone. So yeah.
That's wonderful. And how should one approach marketing and communications in this kind of a scenario when you're building something new and encouraging old school customers also to adopt something new?
So here, because I'm talking about B2B, I'll talk mainly on communication and marketing on that front. So how we do is, I'm usually part of most of the top conferences or events of these sectors, where I'm either a keynote speaker or in one of the panels. So what happens is, when as I told earlier, that because of the mindset, right, they have been working in certain way for years. So when you see someone constantly speak at these events which are known and popular, those people come across as thought leaders for you, right? So I think what worked for us was to be seen at most of these events, magazines, associations, and be a part of it and engage with them constantly, because then they look up to you, and probably not today, not tomorrow, not day after tomorrow, but someday they'll come to you and say, hey, I've been seeing you since X amount of time, and I really like what you're doing. Like, tell me, how can we work together? And that's happened to us like literally all the time here. So I think it's a lot about positioning and the relevant data, relevant information. It's more about teaching also in some way, educating in some way about the tech that you're building, and more than boasting about like how fancy is the tech, it's about how it's going to help them. How is it going to make their life easier? How it's going to get them more sales? How it's going to get them more customers? So I think it is more to do about understanding and talking constantly about what they need.
Right. Very important in the B2B space for sure.
And that's how we position the entire marketing language also. So I mean, there's no point for us to do marketing. I mean, even we do, but platform like LinkedIn's are more appropriate for us, where there are CXOs or a marketing head or a innovation head of brands, rather than being more aggressive on social media platforms. And so I think, as I said, coming across as a thought leader is the kind of communication that we like to position, and that's what has been working beautifully for us.